Yeah, let's talk about notch and break hafting. uh, this is backed by popular demand, but I'm going to throw a little twist in it, and we're going to talk about shaft wrenches and a possibility of how these things were used. We know they were used in prehistoric Europe, and the Native Americans used them. Most people assume that they're used for straightening out shafts and stuff. I personally think that they were used as a tuning wrench to set the spines of arrows and shafts and stuff. But there's another use I found. But in order to get to that, I'm going to have to talk about notch and break hafting. Now, notch and break hafting is a pretty simple thing that's been documented, and basically what that is, it's you cut 4 shafts into a shaft for your spear shaft, javelin, arrows, whatever you're going to do, knife handles. It works for a lot of different things, but you put 4 notches, and what you do is you bend and put pressure on these, and it'll split from one notch to the other. Now you got to go off of the thickness of the point that you're going to put in there. So never how thick your point is, that's how the distance on these 2 notches right here. Now when you're doing really thin points, it gets to be kind of a booger, like for Folsom points or little small arrow points, is to try to get the pressure in the right place to get that to split without breaking the whole thing off. So you can use bone, antler, wood, whatever you want, but basically what this does, it puts the pressure right in the right place, and you bend it, and you hear that little snap. There we go. And what that'll do, it comes down and it'll stop at these bottom 2 right here. Then you put side pressure, and you take that out, and that's what you end up with right there. You can do this for nocks for arrows, or for point hafting. A lot of different, knives. You can do big scale stuff. Comes in real handy for the wrench does if you're doing really thin type hafts, such as like Folsom points. It's almost required to use some kind of a device. Like I say, knives, spear points, works really well on the real thin stuff. You just about have to have it on javelin type lancelet points too. So I've got a series of shafts. Now you can do this by hand, but like I say, there's a good chance that you'll break a big majority of them. So we'll try this. I just took this arrow shaft here and did a series of notches here so I could show you. And you can make some really thin halves here for arrow points and what have you. It's good to have really dry wood, seasoned, and you can put some really thin points, arrow points. Like I say, you can use your hands, but a lot of times you'll have some failure. Now these have been found in dry caves and stuff out in the western United States, so this isn't something I just come up with. Let's try another one here. You get down to these little tiny small shafts, and it's really hard to get the pressure right where you need it. So there we go. So there you have it, notch and break hafting. and the possibility of shaft wrenches being used as levers in the notch and break process. However, I believe the main function of these are for tuning devices and adjusting the spine and spear shafts, arrow shafts, and that sort of thing. But like I say, if you're doing really thin points, like Folsom points and stuff, you just about have to have one of these to do the notch and break. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of failures. So that was my trick for today.